The CMP has been around in its current form for about 26, 27 years, and so we thought it was time to relook the mission and the vision statements, given that the CMP has transformed, it's grown so much, over the past 2.5 decades. And the board and I decided on a more aspirational vision for the CMP to be the nation's leader in marksmanship excellence. That doesn't mean we're the only organization that does that, but we want to be one of the leaders of the nation in marksmanship excellence in all the areas that are part of our mission statement, in training programs, safety programs, competitions, and certainly in youth programs.
It runs from the gamut of air gun shooting for juniors all the way up to the senior level of high power service rifle shooting. So we are deeply involved in marksmanship from the ground up. The D-Day match basically celebrates all of the World War II guns, but it really focuses on the M1 to a large extent. But we want folks to come out and shoot these vintage guns, and we spend the whole week doing nothing but that. So we've got our standard GSM world where we shoot Garand, Springfield, and Vintage Military rifles. And then we have a specific bench match for the M1 Garand, which is shot at 300 yards. And that is a new match for us, and it's very exciting. Gets people who really cannot get in all positions, shooting a 3-position match, but they can now shoot at a bench. And they're shooting at a little longer distance than we normally do with the M1. So they're shooting at 300 yards and having a lot of fun shooting off a bench rest.
I wanted to compete in the D-Day match. The bravest Americans in the last 100 years or so just stormed the beaches of Normandy to free Europe from the oppression of the Nazi regime. So, I've been wanting to compete for a while and pay tribute to them.
When you see a lot of the footage of D-Day, you can imagine the incredible courage it took when that ramp went down. And they stepped out to machine gun fire. And then they had to go about 200 yards to get to cover. When they got there, they were ready to roll. Load their rifles, and they could put rounds on the target faster than them Germans could stick their head back up. It just makes it a historical item that we can get today, 79 years later, and be just as good as those guys back then.
I kind of have a personal connection to the M1. Both of my grandfathers were issued M1s in the military, so I often think about that as I shoot the matches with the M1. And I shoot ARs and other stuff, but there's just something special about these old wood and steel guns that have a history to them.
It's a 50 firing point range with a covered firing point, and we got targets at 200, 300, and 600 yards. It's all electronically scored. So you've got a monitor at your side, and so every shot that goes downrange is recorded by the target and sent back by fiber optics to the firing line. It shows up on your monitor in a split second.
It's a generational gift is the way I look at these, the shooting competition and the rifles. I mean, these are 80-year-old rifles or the pistols, and it's a skill.
We have a lot of people who join the CMP and who join the NRA, and they do it because they shoot and they shot when they were younger. And I feel like it can be a lost art. If you can't get out here and shoot, you don't know how to shoot. You can't replicate it. And I think that those are both educational organizations that if they weren't there, nobody would be teaching it.
We have hundreds of thousands of competitors and customers that have either competed in our matches or purchased our products, our amazing M1 Garands, and more recently in the past several years, the M1911 .45 caliber pistols. And I think it's a big role in terms of the shooting sports competitions. I think our brand is trusted in America as being a quality brand. I mean, we're sitting here today at the CMP Talladega Marksmanship Park, which is truly a state-of-the-art venue. And so the standard of excellence, the quality, our focus on safety and marksmanship, I think is what we mean to the American public.
Without getting into the weeds on it, Teddy Roosevelt really got this organization started at the turn of the last century. Coming out of the Spanish-American War, our marksmanship skills weren't the best. And he knew after that conflict we needed better training of civilians as they entered the Army at that time with the long rifle of the Army and the sidearm of the Army. And so it eventually became a training mission for the Army to do that. And so it has morphed over the years to more of a civilian orientation. 1996, we went private as a 501c3 corporation. And so from then on, all the sales of rifles and anything else that we sell through CMP goes to supporting our programs and holding marksmanship events like this and building beautiful campuses like this one here at Talladega.
We're remembering D-Day, the invasion, and what happened, for the war and how they fought and struggled to get up the beach. And it's kind of getting the feel for what they went through as far as manipulating the guns and the difficulties just with that.
It pays homage to, obviously, 1944, but the main point when I shoot is to have fun. Some people take it very seriously. I came out here with the mindset of, I'm here, it's a great facility, great staff, and I want to have fun. And if I hit the target, then that's icing on top of the cake.
Everybody I've ever met at these matches are super friendly. They'll help you. People loan equipment to each other. People loan a rifle, just like the match I shot this morning. I didn't have a rifle for it, but fortunately I had a friend that did, and I was able to borrow his rifle and get a good score with it. And that's not uncommon to see at these matches. This is a very small community of people that do this, and we're almost like one big family. For the most part, people really help each other.
The Garand is, well, it was patent put the finest battle instrument ever devised. It's very accurate. The ping is just the perfect way to tell you that you just fired your last shot, and just makes you happy every time you hear it.
I like the 03s, and I like the Swedish Mausers and some of the other vintage guns. They just feel different. It's kind of neat to shoot something that's over 100 years old.
We are really tickled to have a marksmanship park that is a country club for the American shooter. The cost is low. You don't have to have an annual membership. It is open to the public, and the public paid for this place. All those folks that are buying rifles from us have supported this park. That money has been put to good use here, and I think it's one of the finest parks in America.
The Marksmanship Park now has been here, it's going on our 6th year. We've got everything anybody could want to shoot, from pistol, rifle, shotgun, and now we have archery. So, and we teach that when you come out here. Not only can you come and shoot, but if you don't have the ability or you need some freshening up on your shooting ability, we can teach that. We have NRA certified instructors. And the one thing about that really sets us apart is the rifle range, because of our electronic targets. We have the KTS electronic targeting system that we brought over from the Norwegian military. And that has the electronic targets to where when you shoot, as soon as your bullet passes through the target, you have a monitor at your side. It'll show you exactly where your bullet passed through the target. So you get through, we can see a lot more shooters go through the range. There's no need for paper targets. There's no need to close the range and go get down and score the paper targets. It's all scored electronically right there beside you at your shooting position.
I learned this the hard way sometimes when I shot in winter and then came out here in summer. I was shooting too low, and then I realized I didn't take time to consider the temperature change affects the bullet velocity, and I had to adjust while the match started during my siders. With the electronic targets, if you're doing competitive shooting, you can see where your round is hitting, so you can actually make adjustments on the fly.
I would say the biggest thing is try to practice ahead of time, get good zeros for the course of fire. Come out to a match. If you have a vintage rifle and you're safe at home, bring it. If not, just come out, check out the facility. They have them here for sale. As you can see, a full rack of M1, so there are a few things you have to do to qualify to buy an M1 through the CMP. But get a vintage rifle, whether it be a bolt action or a Garand, and just, have fun.
In these days when there's so much concern about guns, I like to say, and we all like to say in the CMP, that we're the good guys on the side of the gun. And we'd like the American public to realize that they can come out here and enjoy a safe sport in a great environment and go home feeling really good about what they did and understand a little bit more about our world.